Hey guys, Eric here, Mr. Fired Up Wealth, and today I'm bringing you CrowdStrike. This is the first video in a series of several cybersecurity videos that we're going to do, and I'm going to take it to another level today. I'm actually going to demo CrowdStrike. I'm going to give you a demo of the actual software in the cloud so you can see it. If you like doing your homework, you like doing your due diligence, you like doing analysis, you've come to the right place. Stay tuned. All right, let's get pumped for this one, guys. CrowdStrike, this is gonna be a great video. Towards the middle to end, there's going to be a demo of the actual product. We're taking it to the next level here, so stay tuned. You're going to see it. This demo is gonna paint a perfect picture of exactly what they do. There's some really cool information. It's gonna give you a great visual, so stick with me here. I want you to understand what the company is about, give you some background information before we get into that demo. So capabilities. All right, real quick, what does CrowdStrike Falcon do? The first thing I want you to focus on when you think of CrowdStrike is endpoint security. There's different types of security, and it's important to understand that. This is going to be a series of cybersecurity stocks, and they all play a part in this whole cloud infrastructure or ecosystem. Falcon is the CrowdStrike platform purpose-built to stop breaches via a unified set of cloud-delivered technologies to prevent all types of attacks, including malware and much more. Today's sophisticated attacks are going beyond malware to breach organizations, increasingly relying on exploits, 0 days, and hard-to-detect methods such as credential theft and tools that are already part of the victim's environment or operating system, such as PowerShell. CrowdStrike Falcon responds to those challenges with a powerful yet lightweight solution. This means it doesn't take a lot of data. That unifies next-generation antivirus, they call it NGAV, as well as endpoint detection and response, they call that EDR, cyber threat intelligence, managed threat hunting, which we're gonna get to in the demo, and capabilities and security hygiene, all contained in a tiny, single, lightweight sensor that is cloud managed and delivered. Is CrowdStrike Falcon cloud-based or on-premise? CrowdStrike Falcon is 100% cloud-based solution, offering security as a service. Usually you see software as a service, SaaS. They're using the S for security. That's fine. Falcon requires no servers or controllers to be installed, freeing you from the cost and hassle of managing, maintaining, and updating on-premise software or equipment. Next, real fast, guys, I want to go through the investor product briefing. These are some really good slides, really well done. I like the black and red, looks really clean. This first one, we stop breaches and much more. So they reduce complexity, they gain efficiency, they improve protection, augment skills and experience, and they enhance risk management. And this is a good slide too. Frictionless, it's driving friction out of the customer experience. It's just kind of the go-to-market, the cloud native and deployment. This is the one I want to get to here. This is the Falcon platform. This protects all workloads. It's a lightweight agent. You can see everything from endpoint security, and I want you to focus on endpoint security. I'll get more to that in a second. In the middle, you got security and IT operations. You have threat intelligence, and then you've got the CrowdStrike store. So APIs actually plug into that CrowdStrike store, and you can work with other different partners. So endpoint security, you've got antivirus in there, you've got firewall management. The security, you've got the threat hunting, which I'm gonna show you how the threat hunting actually works in the demo here coming up, so do stay tuned for it. It's really cool. It's got turnkey security in there, and then the threat intelligence, you've got the intel, the malware search, and analysis, okay? Now this is for Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, so we're talking about mobile devices, we're talking about iPads, any kind of tablets, workstations, servers, data centers, Internet of Things, cloud containers, everything. So back to the endpoint security. So you see APIs going in and APIs going out. Endpoint security is what CrowdStrike is most well known for. Because you'll say, well, what does Zscaler do versus CrowdStrike? This whole series I'm doing is going to be on cybersecurity, and there's a best of breed for each type of security. For example, we did a video not long ago that was Okta compared to Ping Identity. Both of those are identity management, so you're thinking of like single sign-on. Completely different. In fact, you could use Okta along with CrowdStrike in the same organization. In fact, Zscaler, you could actually use Zscaler and CrowdStrike together in the same business, because Zscaler and CrowdStrike actually partner to provide joint customers with seamless protection across the cloud and the endpoint. So this is a whole announcement you can read if you want. I'm going to put links to all this in the bottom. But Zscaler is a leading in cloud security. Today announced a partnership with CrowdStrike, a leader in cloud-delivered endpoint protection. CrowdStrike's AI, artificial intelligence power Threat Graph will integrate with Zscaler's cloud security platform to provide customers with real-time threat detection and automated policy enforcement that improves security across their networks and endpoints. So these next two slides are just talking about the true cost of security, and this slide's probably most important. So you've probably seen Forrester research a couple of times in my videos. They did a total economic study. They call it a TEI, and it's actually really impressive. It showed a return on investment of 316%. It saved this average customer about $6.7 million, and they're able to pay back their investment within 3 months. So let's just take a look really fast. This is the Forrester total economic impact in the study. Again, 316% return on investment for CrowdStrike Falcon. I want to show you this pie graph because obviously if you're here, you're into stocks. If you're into stocks, you probably like looking at pie charts. So here's a pie chart that shows reduced risk of data breach. That's the kind of darker blue color. That's 2.3 million or 34%. The consolidation of security services is the red. That's about $2 million. Operational efficiencies, light green. And then you got containment efficiencies. And reduced downtime is that small light blue one there. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I wanted to show you that really quick. This is a really good slide. So they're saying this here, cloud category defining cloud platforms. So everything on the screen I'm invested in. I've been in CRM for a long time. I've been into ServiceNow for a long time. I've been in Workday for a few years now. But each of those are basically a niche. So Salesforce is CRM, that's customer relationship management, how sales teams go to market to win business. ServiceNow is all about service management cloud. Workday is about HCM or human and capital management. And now they're comparing themselves as an equal disruptor in the cloud security space. Security cloud, CrowdStrike, which was founded in 2011. So you see Salesforce way back in 1999, ServiceNow 2004, Workday 2005, and now 2011, you've got the security cloud. So real quick here, AI, everybody, loves hearing about AI. This does use artificial intelligence throughout the entire system. It's very interesting. The demo will even show you some of that AI. Smart filtering and high fidelity data. So you got baseline anomalies and threats. Don't need to go into that too much. This is interesting because there's 3 trillion events captured per week. 3 trillion. That's all AI powered. That's a pretty cool graphic. Here's some more AI. They're really trying to drive that AI message home. What is threat hunting? So you've got stealthy attacks all the way to e-crime. So this one's important. You've got visibility across all workloads. So again, workstations, servers, data centers, you got your public cloud. So you got your Microsoft Azure, you got your AWS, you got your Google Cloud Platform, you've got your containers, you've got your mobile, you've got Internet of Things, IoT, you've got it all covered. Now I'm going to get to this demo in a second and you're going to want to see it. So hold tight. Before we do that, I want to go through a couple more quick slides. So stop breaches with next generation workflows. You got manage, respond, prevent, monitor. They're doing all things. It's a complete end-to-end solution. Why CrowdStrike? This is what they're saying. Better protection, reduce complexity, community immunity. Say that 10 times fast. Community immunity. I'm not even going to try. And then immediate value. So let's get into the demo next. Okay, so I'm actually going to give you a demo of the CrowdStrike Falcon platform. This is totally awesome. This is the user interface that you can manage the entire solution from detection to investigating incidents, creating policies. This is the actual dashboard you would see if you logged in as a user. This is CrowdStrike. So that's the first cloud native endpoint solution, and it's expanded a lot of capabilities. So they do more than just endpoint solutions now. They have things like next-gen antivirus capabilities and other modules. They really have a complete endpoint protection solution. This is the App Store, and this allows onboarding of trusted partner applications through integration in your environment. It's really handy. And I'll get some more of that in a second. So there's 81 detections on here, and Falcon Overwatch, what we're going to look at today, we're going to do a demo of one specific product that's called Falcon Overwatch. It's a differentiator for CrowdStrike. And what it does is it hunts threats. So we're going to actually look at a threat that was caught by Falcon Overwatch. We get an email, and here's an email from the Overwatch team that identifies an event that requires our immediate investigation. Now with this specific one, if you read through it, essentially what's going on here is there's been a detection of a stealthy advanced attack. And that link on the top, we'll be able to click that link, and that link's going to take us right back into this particular threat, and it's going to give us a breakdown of all the information. So we click, and now this is the CrowdStrike threat graph. What it is a process tree. It correlates all the data and events for this particular situation we're dealing with. Now this one you can see started in Outlook, and then what happened was it launched an invasive template.pdf towards the bottom here. Now this is an invasion type technique that are used by hackers. And in this particular instance, the attacker then tried to use a recon tool that you'll see at the bottom there. So you can see that the severity here is high. It's been prevented. It's objective. It says Falcon detection method. It's using machine learning and sensor-based ML. We can scroll down here. We can get all the different information. We can see the risk assessment. There's all kinds of tools that the IT organization can use to make sure that this file is quarantined, that it's not spreading throughout the rest of the organization, that it's not intruding the system. What we're going to do is we're going to view this tool report, and it's going to take us into this report, and this is going to provide a summary. It gives us a breakdown of all the information. It even shows, in this specific case, it even shows where the attack came from. And this is really interesting. And I'm going to go through a little bit of this here, and I'm going to show you another page about this group in a minute. This specific attack was from an adversary known as Stardust Colima. And they have like their own little graphic. So we're in CrowdStrike right now. We're inside of the solution, and they have this associated actor that has a profile pic. You know, I feel like it's good guys versus bad guys in some kind of comic book or something. These guys are from North Korea, and they target nations like the US, but other ones you can see top there, Bangladesh, Brazil, all over. And they do intrusion, and they target, I'm just going to read this. It's a target intrusion and adversary with suspected nexus to the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, involved in operations against financial institution for currency gain. So I'm going to get to more of that in a second. It's pretty interesting. So what do we do next? You can see in this situation, this particular attack went beyond the recon.exu and tried to go further. And after going through all these different attempts, they used a PowerShell executable file. And essentially, when they got to that point, they figured out that they didn't have permissions to really go any further. And so depending on what CrowdStrike applications you have leveraged, the threat here could have been stopped at different points, throughout the cycle. It's not completely done. We still have some more work to do. So we need to do a complete network contain on this situation. So we're going to do a network contain. First, we're going to do an audit log entry here, investigation underway, confirm, and then we are going to actually go in and we're going to connect to the host. We're going to use remote session. So let's connect. And now we're going to use remote session to remediate the issue remotely, of course. And then it allows us to do a couple different things. We can quickly edit the registry. We can collect copies of the file for further investigation. And we can even delete the files from the impacted system. And what we're going to end up doing is we're going to use commands. And we're going to use those commands to collect and delete the PDF files. And then we're going to use a script to delete the registry key. Now you can see here, depending, there's other prevention capabilities could have blocked this sooner. And you can see all the different items that, CrowdStrike focuses on, from exploit prevention, process blocking, et cetera. So depending on how your system's set up, you might have blocked this at different stages throughout the process. They also, in addition to all these different solutions you see on your screen, they have something called Falcon Complete. And Falcon Complete basically is managed services from their experts. So you can leverage their expertise. And if you don't have people that are good at this at your organization, you can leverage Falcon Complete. All right, so here's the adversary in more detail, Stardust Colima. It's just a fun word. The graphic is cool, like everything about it. Like I said, it's almost like a comic book, the good guys versus bad guys. So we read this earlier, but just kind of real quick. So we kind of have an idea there, this nexus that's tied to the Democratic Republic of Korea. So essentially these guys work for the Korean government, the North Korean government, to steal money, to take money, to con money, and fund the government. So it's kind of crazy. It uses several implants that share a code framework tracked by CrowdStrike as 2pence. This actor also uses techniques such as code protection tools like Enigma Protector, password protected executables, and secure deletion functions to remain hidden on target systems for long periods of time by avoiding legacy security products. Recent Falcon intelligence reporting has been published to customers assessing that Stardust Colima is expected targeting Latin America-based organizations since mid-2017. So they target pretty much everybody. You can check this out. I'm going to put links to all this information on the video, so if you want to take a look in more detail. But this was the adversary of the month for April back in 2018, Stardust Colima. All right, guys, you know what they do. You've seen a demo. You have a great understanding of what they're all about. Let's look at some numbers and some growth, some catalysts of why we'd want to maybe invest in this stock. I'm already invested in this and I'm up big. I'm trying to give information for people that are interested in buying this, perhaps here or maybe even at a dip. So here we go. So exceptional financial profile, and I do agree with this. It's very impressive. Obviously, with this whole pandemic, it's accelerated businesses, in this space, especially with cloud security, working from home. They have 686 annual recurring revenue, 91% subscription revenue, 6,261 subscription customers. Their ARR, that's annual recurring revenue. That year-over-year growth is 88%. That's really, really good. That's a great number. You can obviously do better, but as a shareholder, I can't expect much more than that in year-over-year growth, especially for a company that's been around since 2012. 89% subscription revenue year-over-year growth, and then 55% subscription customers with 4 or more modules. Why is that important? Well, it shows that they have some breadth and depth, and it also shows that there's a pretty big chunk of people that only have a couple of modules where they can expand their footprint. So it's showing opportunity there for growth. The problem: other security products are expensive, complex, and ineffective. This is true. When you think of cost and complexity, there's a lot of value there if you look at the pricing compared to some other options out there. This is something I haven't driven home yet, and I want to make sure I address it. So their cloud, it scales. Their AI scales. So continuous AI analytics, over 3 trillion events that we talked about earlier, are streamed into a threat graph per week. But what this does is it actually gets this AI, this artificial intelligence, gets smarter the more data you have and the longer you use it. Why do we care as investors? Because it makes it very sticky. It's very hard if a customer, if they've had it for a long time and it's working really well, and assuming that this AI is as good as they say it is, of course, it's going to be very hard for them to leave and start with a vanilla product that doesn't know their business. So to me, it's a very sticky thing where once the AI kind of gets in there, it's going to be hard for a customer to break ties with a company like CrowdStrike. Why cloud native is better? So again, CrowdStrike is built natively in the cloud. It's not an on-prem. What that means is it's not old school software that was built for on-prem like CDs and hard drives and servers at your location. It was built natively for the cloud. So everything about it from its inception, it exists to perform in the cloud. And that is important because when you take an old application that's on-prem and you change it to the cloud, it's not as easy as it sounds. If you build it from the ground up, from scratch, as a cloud native product, it's going to generally be better. And here it's showing data access, the analysis, and the reuse. So here's some of their customers. This is good. So 105% year-over-year growth. This is for Q1 F121. So this is really recent. As of January 31, 2020, they have 49 of the Fortune 100. So they have 51, of course, they don't have. 11 of the top 20 banks, and 40 of the top global 100 companies. So it shows that big clients are willing to work with them. It also shows there's some room for expansion in those spaces as well. Low friction go-to-market. So what this is showing you, and of course, I've worked in software sales for a long time, and this is showing you how those field sales teams work. It's just saying that it's a proven sales enterprise model. It's kind of rinse and repeat. Most of the big companies use this where they have a large enterprise field sales team. They have an inside sales team. They do strategic verticalization. It just means like you're focused on government and you're laser focused. So you understand that sector, or you're focused on financials or healthcare, et cetera. You're also, geographically covered. So you're working in the Americas, you're working in Japan. So the sales teams are very, niche, kind of customized to each group they're selling to, and it helps them be more effective. That's all this is showing here. these are really good. These are customer testimonials. You can look at these on your own. I know you want to check out the bottom left here because it's Pokemon, so I'm sure everybody's going to want to see that one. Our growth strategy, it's large and expanding. So the far right, that 31.9, that is the total addressable market in billions. Okay, so you can see in 2020, it's 26.9 billion. And in 2 years, they're saying it's growing by 9%. That number is probably even higher with this whole pandemic thing. And you can see some of their growth. I won't go through all of it. Workloads today versus tomorrow, it's showing steady growth from 2017 to 2022. It's showing a 10% 5-year on the growth. One platform for all workloads. The CrowdStrike store is expanding its ecosystem for PaaS, that's platform as a service for the endpoint. Rapid growth for ARR, we talked about earlier. I mean, this is a pretty powerful chart. The far left here, this is Q1 FY18 with 71, and that's in millions. And then you can see it's gone from 71 to 686 million in this last quarter. Strong revenue growth, 99% subscription year-over-year growth. You can see massive since FY18. It's gone from 118.8 to 481 since 2018 or FY18. Subscription year-over-year growth, you can see again, 89%. They're killing it. Strong customer retention expansion. They have 120% benchmark is all they're showing you there. Power of the platform. Stay tuned here. I'm going to give you my thoughts in a second. Rule of 40. All right, so rule of 40, their number, 86. Pretty good number. Their magic number is 1.2. We don't talk about the magic number quite as much. Their gross margins are improving as well, which is important as an investor. Improved operating leverage. Here, real quick, here's their long-term target operating model. This is good as an investor to know. So their subscription gross margin, they're looking for 75 to 80% or higher, and their operating margin, they're looking to be at 20% plus. This is saying that if they can achieve these numbers, there's definitely room for this company to grow both revenue as well as, of course, stock price. One other quick thing I want to make you aware of on this is there has been some drama and some politics around it. This is from September of 2019. What is CrowdStrike and why is it part of the Trump whistleblower complaint? So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but basically, so this says that cybersecurity company CrowdStrike, which has been at the center of false conspiracy theories since 2016, is once again in focus after a White House transcript published on Wednesday revealed President Donald Trump brought it up on his July call with the Ukrainian president. Okay, so you can read this on your own. I want to make sure that I make you aware of the risk because this could be a risk. Doing my research, it looks like most of it's just kind of made up conspiracy theories, like it says here. Founded in 2011, CrowdStrike sells its Falcon cybersecurity software to big corporations and government clients. It's actually really interesting. So the company helps run cybersecurity investigations for the U.S. government. For example, CrowdStrike has tracked North Korea hackers for more than a decade. The company says it was also tasked with tracking the hacking groups that carried out the 2014 hack on Sony Pictures. And again, it gained some more notoriety in 2016 when the Democratic National Committee paid the company to investigate a hack of its server, which it determined later was basically from Russia. The company was the first to publicly sound the alarm about Russia's interference in the 2016 election, and CrowdStrike's assessment was later confirmed by U.S. intelligence agencies. CrowdStrike recently went public. This is old, 108 million in sales. They've gone up a lot, both in sales and as well as this market cap of 14 billion. But I wanted to make sure you're aware of this kind of potential risk and drama with the stock when you're doing your homework. All right, guys, there you have it. That's CrowdStrike. That's the first video in a series of several cybersecurity videos that we're going to do. We're going to do detailed analysis for each one of those picks. CrowdStrike obviously is a great company. The sky is the limit, I think, for this company. They have a lot of room for growth. The stock has made a huge run. I wouldn't want you to put a whole position in probably right now. It's one of these stocks that's just been on a tear. So be careful with it. I would dollar cost average. I would wait for some pullbacks. But with that said, I own it long. I'm up about 100% on it. So it's one of those that I'm going to hold. If it drops 10, 20%, I might even add more. But if you haven't made a position yet in CrowdStrike, just do your homework, watch the technicals, be patient. Don't chase stuff. No FOMO. Just make sure you're smart about it. So if you really like the company, certainly feel free maybe to buy some, but I would save some room. If it were me personally, I would save some room so you can dollar cost average if it goes lower. But thanks for watching this video. Subscribe so you can get notified when these other videos come out, because they're going to be doing it's going to be probably between 7 and 10 unique videos for cybersecurity. It's a very important topic in this day and age, so I want to cover it in detail. So do subscribe. If you haven't checked out the Facebook group, please do that. You can go onto Facebook, do a search for Fired Up Wealth. There's a public group and there's also a private group, so please apply for that. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.